أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Dear viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Firstly, I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for joining this simple program. Inshallah, we will begin with the recitation of Surah Al-Mulk by Brother Ahmed Shivraj, and then we will go on from there. Brother Ahmed Hassan, Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير. الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا وهو العزيز الغفور. الذي خلق 7 سماوات طباقا ما ترى في خلق الرحمن من تفاوت فارجع البصر هل ترى من فطور ثم ارجع البصر كرتين ينقلب إليك البصر خاسئا وهو حسير. ولقد زينا السماء الدنيا بمصابيح وجعلناها رجوما للشياطين وأعتدنا لهم عذاب السعير. وللذين كفروا بربهم عذاب جهنم وبئس المصير. إذا ألقوا فيها سمعوا لها شهيقا وهي تفور تكاد تميز من الغيظ كلما ألقي فيها فوج سألهم خزنتها ألم يأتكم نذير قالوا بلى قد جاءنا نذير فكذبنا وقلنا ما نزل الله من شيء إن أنتم إلا في ضلال كبير. وقالوا لو كنا نسمع أو نعقل ما كنا في أصحاب السعير فاعترفوا بذنبهم فسحقا لأصحاب السعير. إن الذين يخشون ربهم بالغيب لهم مغفرة وأجر كبير. وأسروا قولكم أو اجهروا به إنه عليم بذات الصدور. ألا يعلم من خلق وهو اللطيف الخبير. هو الذي جعل لكم الأرض ذلولا فامشوا في مناكبها وكلوا من رزقه وإليه النشور. أأمنتم من في السماء أن يخسف بكم الأرض فإذا هي تمور أم أمنتم من في السماء أن يرسل عليكم حاصبا فستعلمون كيف نذير. ولقد كذب الذين من قبلهم فكيف كان نكير. أولم يروا إلى الطير فوقهم صافات ويقبضن ما يمسكهن إلا الرحمن إنه بكل شيء بصير. أمن هذا الذي هو جند لكم ينصركم من دون الرحمن إن الكافرون إلا في غرور. أمن هذا الذي يرزقكم إن أمسك رزقه بل لجوا في عتو ونفور. أفمن يمشي مكبا على وجهه أهدى أمن يمشي سويا على صراط مستقيم قل هو الذي أنشأكم وجعل لكم السمع والأبصار والأفئدة قليلا ما تشكرون قل هو الذي ذرأكم في الأرض وإليه تحشرون ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين قل إنما العلم عند الله إنما أنا نذير مبين فلما رأوه زلفة سيئت وجوه الذين كفروا وقيل هذا الذي كنتم به تدعون قل أرأيتم إن أهلكني الله ومن معي أو رحمنا فمن يجير الكافرين من عذاب أليم قل هو الرحمن آمنا به وعليه توكلنا فستعلمون من هو في ضلال مبين قل أرأيتم إن أصبح ماؤكم غورا فمن يأتيكم بماء معين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Ahsan, thank you so much, Brother Ahmed. And next, inshallah, we have Brother Imran Wakar, who will be reciting for us Surah Al-Yasin.
الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم مغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أأنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون ولا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أأتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة وأحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالعرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في الصور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم أن لا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون يصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وذللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم الذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجه. Ahsan, Jazakallah. Thank you so much, Imran, for the beautiful recitation. Inshallah, next we have Marcia from Brother Yusuf Ali Okera, who is joining us from London. Brother Yusuf, Bismillah.
بر محمد وعلى محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد. ہوئی یتیماں پہ ظلموں کی انتہا غازی ہوئی یتیماں پہ ظلموں کی انتہا غازی تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی ہوئی یتیماں پہ ظلموں کی انتہا غازی صلح کے سینے پہ دل کا سکون پاتا تھا قرار جس کو سکینہ کے دم سے آتا تھا گلا کٹا کے وہ مقتل میں سو گیا غازی تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی لعین آ گئے خیمے میں لوٹ آؤ چچا میں مانگتی نہیں پانی مجھے بچاؤ چچا ہر ایک تماچے سوچے پہ دیتی ہے یہ صدا غازی، تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی، دکھائے کس کو سکینہ نشاں تماچوں کے، دکھائے نیلے وہ اب کس کو اپنے گالوں کے، بتائے کس کو وہ امت کی یہ جفا غازی، تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی، اسی کے ننھے سے چولے اٹھا کے روتی ہے، تصورات میں جھولا جھولا کے روتی ہے، وہ جس کا مر گیا ہر سا لاڈلا غازی، تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی، کیا مقطع پیش کیا شاعر نے، مولا ان کو کوئی غم نہ دکھائے سوائے غم حسین۔ پڑھوں میں شام کے زنداں میں جا کے یہ نوحہ، پڑھوں میں شام کے زنداں میں جا کے یہ نوحہ، حرم میں بی بی کے پہنچا تو میں یہ سمجھوں گا قبول ہو گئی سجاد کی دعا غازی، تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی، تیری سکینہ پہ کیا وقت آ گیا غازی۔ Please, if we can all join in together to recite Surah Fatiha for Marhum Abbas Ali Sheikh ji, Marhum Akil Azad, and Marhum Mubashir Inayat Ali Jivraj, three young Azadars who have lost during this pandemic very great losses. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant them paradise next to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And all three of them, I recall, mashallah, every time I used to be in Kenya, mashallah, very humble and great Azadars of Aba Abdullah alayhi salam. They served their life to Bibi Fatima salamullahi alayha. So surely their reward lies with her. Jazakallah, iltimas dua, ma'jurin inshallah.
Thank you so much, Brother Yusuf, for that beautiful, beautiful recitation. Inshallah, without taking much any of your time, inshallah, we will go to the Majlis. We will have a very special guest today, Sheikh Noor Muhammad, inshallah. Without taking much of your time, we will ask Sheikh Noor to start. Ahsan, Jazakallah.
My dear brothers and sisters, before we begin with the Majlis, wherever you may be, kindly let us all raise up our hands and recite Surah Al-Fatiha for our beloved Marhumeen, Marhum Abbas Ali Shivji, Marhum Aqil Azad, and Marhum Mubashir Inayat Ali Jivraj. Al-Fatiha. صلى الله وسلم عليك يا رسول الله وعلى أهل بيتك المعصومين المنتجبين. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله، السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله، السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة المظلومة. ما خاب من تمسك بكم وأمن من لجأ إليكم. يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز والله فوزا عظيما. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. هو الذي خلقكم من تراب ثم من نطفة ثم من علقة ثم يخرجكم طفلا ثم لتبلغوا أشدكم ثم لتكونوا شيوخا. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم. For the love of Abba Abdullah, with the loudest of our voices, wherever we may be, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. For the purification of our hearts and the hastening of the reappearance of our beloved 12th Imam, with the loudest of our voices, صلوا على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم. First of all, we thank Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for gracing us with this wonderful moment to remember our beloved Marhumeen who responded to the calling of their Maker, Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. My dear brothers and sisters, kindly allow me to take this opportunity first and foremost to express my heartfelt condolences to each and every one of you on the martyrdom of our beloved second Imam, Imam Hassan al-Mujtaba, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayh. And secondly, to express my heartfelt condolences to the families of these Azadars of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn and Azadars of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. I and you know very well, my dear brothers and sisters, it is not easy to lose a loved one, especially someone who is youth, someone who dedicated his life to the service of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salatu wassalam. It is not easy. But as we all know very well, that is the journey. It is inevitable. Sooner or later, all of us will respond to the calling of our Maker. What is important is how we respond to the calling of our Maker. We no doubt console ourselves when we remember the departures of these three Azadars of Aba Abdullah, that no doubt they rendered their services in their own capabilities towards giving life to the messages of Ahlul Bayt. And so we console ourselves that they departed from this world as a khuddam of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn and Ahlul Bayt al-Ismati wa tahara. And you know very well, whoever depart from this world with the love of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad, that person will be forgiven by Almighty Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is painful, but as our beloved Bibi Zainab mentioned, and we borrow it from her, we saw nothing from these great Azadars of Aba Abdullah but beauty. And it is indeed beautiful in the sense that they inspired young ones within our communities to take the services of Ahlul Bayt or services towards the mission of Ahlul Bayt seriously. Now, in paying our tribute to these great, beautiful souls and Azadars of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam, our topic of discussion this afternoon, inshallah, will be to look at the potentials of our youth. And the examination is of the following three stages. The first stage is to look at the true meaning of youth. Second stage of the examination is to focus on the elements or the characteristics of youth. And then the last stage of my examination is to dwell on some of the challenges faced by our youth in this 21st century, and inshallah provide some possible solutions to those challenges. We've all gathered to remember these great souls. We've all gathered to say, Ya Allah, we know nothing about them but khair. Ya Allah, they are lovers and followers of Ahlul Bayt. Is to say, Ya Allah, elevate their statuses in their lives of barzakh. And in making this meaningful is of great importance. We all, especially the youth amongst us, take cues or lessons from these three Azadars of Aba Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. The verse I quoted earlier on is Quran 40 verse 70. This Quran 40 verse 67, sorry. This beautiful verse highlights on three main stages of the life of each and every individual. Allah says, هو الذي خلقكم من تراب. He is the one who created you from dust, from clay, you all know. ثم من نطفة, then from clinging cloth, we all know. Then he says, ثُمَّ يُخْرِجُكُمْ طِفْلًا. First stage. Then he bring you out as a child. So the first stage of the life of every individual is childhood stage. Then the ayah continues. ثُمَّ لِتَبْلُغُوا أَشُدَّكُمْ. Then you reach your strength. You reach your potentials. You reach your power. Which stage are we talking about here? It is discussing youthfulness. So the second stage of the life of every individual is the youthful stage. Then the verse at the end says, ثُمَّ لِتَكُونُوا شُيُوخًا. Then you become old. Then you aged. Discussing the last main stage of our lives. Adulthood stage, if you like. But some, when they look at this last stage, they divide it into two. They said we've got young adults and then we've got old adults or an elderly person. Now, out of all these stages that the Holy Quran is emphasizing, the most important stage of the life of every individual is youthfulness. It's a very powerful stage. It is a very strategic stage. It is a stage when one gives it a miss intentionally without taking advantage of it, one will live to regret. We are able to build our future and to decide who we want to become in future by taking advantage of our youthfulness. Our three Azadars departed from this world as youth. They made the best out of the opportunities given to them by Allah to serve the cause of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. This is to inspire us, especially the youth amongst us, that Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, when He created us, He gave us potentials. And if we make the best out of the potentials given to us by Allah, believe me or not, my dear brothers and sisters, sky will be the limit. Now let's look at the true meaning of youth. Who is youth? And kindly pay attention to this, my dear brothers and sisters. There are so many definitions out there as to who is youth or what is youthfulness. I would like to share two major definitions here with you. Psychological definition and biological definition. Let's begin with the biological definition of who is a youth. There are different opinions, but one opinion I found fascinating and appealing to me is what? A youth is someone who is either from the age 13 or age 14 to age 40. So 13 to 40 or 14 to 40 is what youthfulness is all about biologically. But the most interesting definition is the psychological definition. And kindly youth amongst us pay attention to this. Especially those from 13 to 40. Who is youth? He is someone who is productive and creative. Yani he has the power, qudratul intaj and qudratul ibda'. A youth has the power to be productive and has the power to be creative. Allah has given you that power to be spiritually productive and creative, to be socially productive and creative, to be intellectually productive and creative, to be materially or physically productive and creative. It is a potential given to each and every one of us by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. It is the greatest blessings of Allah in the life of each and every one of us. And Quran is crystal clear that when you are blessed with Allah's blessing, you should show it and let it manifest in your lives. So you've got the potential, my dear youth, to be productive, to be creative. You've got the potential to reach the maximum success in your lives. And what I would like really to draw your attention to is to use this potential to become spiritually strong, to become a strong and a powerful lover and follower of Ahlul Bayt, who will go out there to serve the cause of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Now let's go to the second stage of my exam, which is the most important. What are the elements and the characteristics of a youth? You are 13, you are 14, up to 40, you are youth. Look at the qualities of a youth. And these qualities are there. You've got the potential to let the qualities manifest. The first quality comes from by a psychological definition of youth. That a youth is productive and creative. When it comes to your relationship with Allah and your relationship with Ahlul Bayt, you have to be productive. You have to be creative. Don't be boring. Keep taking things to the next level. When it comes to your studies at school, at university, you've got the potential to be creative and productive. Take it to the next level. When it comes to your work as youth, you've got the potential to take it to the next level. To be productive and creative is a feature, is a quality of a youth. The second quality or feature of a youth is what? Sur'atul Karar. A youth has got a potential to take decisions quickly. When you see a youth postponing and postponing and postponing and confused, doesn't know what he or she is doing, no focus in his or her life, then be rest assured something is wrong with that youth. Either the environment is bad, or the upbringing is bad, or the friend cycle is bad. But a youth has got the potential to take a decision, of course not in haste, well thought. But a youth doesn't delay. Hence our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam mentioned, Inna Allah ba'athani bil-haqqi bashiran wa nadhira fakhalafani shuyukhu wa halafani shababu. He said, Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala sent me to be a warner and a giver of a good news. The older generation disagreed with me, did not accept me right from the word go. But the young generation, the youth, accepted me. So youth, you've got the potential to accept things. You've got the potential to take decisions. If you do not use this potential and you aged, you will regret. The third feature and element of a youth is what? My dear brothers and my dear sisters. A youth adapt to change or changes easily. We all are changeable personalities, whether young or old. But the way youth change is very quick compared to any other generation. Allah has given you that potential. You want to take your salat to the next level, to stop being lazy, you are able to do so. Allah has given you the potential. You want to learn and study how to recite Quran properly. You should be able to do it when you are determined, when you are sincere. Allah has given you the potential to learn how to recite Marthia or Noha, if you want to do it and you are determined, you've got that potential. A youth can change easily. And Quran makes it very clear, not of course specific to the youth, but to all of us. إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم. Allah will not change what is with people until they change what is in themselves, until they change and temper with what is in their hearts. So my dear youth, you have these potentials to change. Allahu Akbar. And you know the third feature and quality of a youth is what? It's the best moments of our lives. There is no moment or stage, as we mentioned earlier on, of one's life that can be compared to his or her youthfulness. If you do not benefit from this stage to achieve a maximum benefit in whatever you do in life, I tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, you will regret. You will regret. It is the best. And that is why our beloved fifth Imam, Imam Muhammad al-Baqir, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi, in one beautiful tradition said, go around. If you come across a Shia youth who is not disciplined in his or her religion, bring that youth to me. I, Bakr, will discipline that youth. Don't relax. Don't wait until the time you start sitting on a chair to take your salat seriously. Don't wait until the time you cannot make proper sajda to start going to the mosque. Don't wait until the time you don't have proper focus to start taking your salat to the next level. It begins now. You remember that famous tradition of the Holy Prophet, where the Holy Prophet said, benefit from 5 before 5 comes, isn't it? One of them is what? Benefit from your youthfulness before you become old. Benefit it from now. One narration said, لن تزول قدم عبد يوم القيامة حتى يسأل عن أربع. No one will be allowed to take a step on the day of Qiyamah until he or she is asked of 4 things. One of them is what? وَعَنْ شَبَابِهِ فِيمَا أَبْلَاهِ. We will be questioned of how we use our youthfulness. It is a moment of having a lot of energy. It is a moment that Islam expects us to be more active in whatever we do so that we are able to achieve maximum successes in our lives. My dear brothers and my dear sisters, youthful stage is the longest stage of our life. What do I mean? First stage we said is childhood. And childhood is from birth to say 13 or 14 years. It takes 22% of one's entire life. The second stage is youthfulness. It's from 15 or 14 to 40. It takes 40% of our entire life. The third stage is that they call young adult, which is from 41 to 50. It takes 15% of our lives. And the last one is old age, the wazis, the senior citizens, which is from 51 to death. It takes, looking at the traditions of the Prophet, 23% of our entire lives. Our youthfulness is the longest stage of our lives. It takes 40%. Take advantage of it. The Holy Prophet said, on the day of Qiyamah, there will be no shade except divine shade. And that shade will be provided to certain groups of people. Youth are part of those groups. You know what Prophet said? وَشَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ رَبِّهِ. A youth who is serious and determined and disciplined about servitude, about worship of Allah, that youth will be provided with shade on the day of Qiyamah. Look at Islam and look at civilizations around. All civilizations, be it Islamic or non-Islamic, grew and reached its climax because of the roles of the youth. Our own beloved Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wa alihi, was appointed prophet and messenger of Allah when he was youth. Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam was youth. La fata illa Ali. Fata simply means youth, young-hearted. Imam Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam was youth, like the age of some of us, or even younger than some of us here, when he accepted the mission and the message of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. La fata illa Ali. Al-Hasan wal-Husayn Sayyida Shababi Ahl al-Jannah. Shabab, youth. You want Hasanain to be your leaders in heaven? Take advantage of being a youth. Take advantage, I repeat, of this stage of your life. Otherwise, my beloved brothers and sisters, we will regret when we grow old. We all know Mus'ab ibn Umair, a young fellow youth who became Muslim through the guidance of our beloved prophets. And eventually, the Holy Prophet sent him to the holy city of Medina to enlighten people about Islam and to lead people. And he was in the forefront. Mus'ab ibn Umair, young fellow. The Holy Prophet believed in the youngsters. He believed in their energies. He believed in their capabilities. He believed in their potentials. And he gave them the opportunities. Look at the last encounter that Muslims had with their enemies. The Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi sent who? Osama. Osama was young fellow. Prophet said, go, you Osama, lead everyone there. Let's get inspired, my dear brothers and sisters, the youth amongst us especially. Let's be inspired by the energies of these great personalities who contributed immensely towards the growth of Islam. Karbala, we are in the days and the nights of Abu Abdullah al-Husayn alayhi salam. Majority of the companions of Abu Abdullah were youth. Make your own research. Majority were youth. Look at Hazrat Ali al-Akbar, youth. Shah Qasim, youth. Hazrat Abbas, youth. You name them. Sons of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba. Abdullah ibn Hassan, youth. You see the son of Junada, young boy. His father is just been killed. Abu Abdullah has not yet even finished sorting out the body of his father. His mom granted him permission, go. He went to Abu Abdullah, salawatullahi wa salamuhu alayhi. Imam Hussein looked at him. He said to him, go stay behind, look after your mom. He said, no, my mom sent me to you, Abu Abdullah. Eventually, Abu Abdullah granted him permission. When he went out, what he said? Amiri Hussein wa ni'mal amir. Amiri Hussein. My master is Hussein. And what a blessed master. Hussein is the comfort of my heart. Ali and Fatima are his parents. Have you come across anyone like my Amir Hussein? Youth. Like Abbas Ali, Aqil, Azad, and Mubashir. Let's get inspired, my dear brothers and my dear sisters. And no doubt, if you look at the lives of the previous prophets of Allah, Musa alayhi salam, فَمَا آمَنَ لِمُوسَى إِلَّا ذُرِّيَّةٌ مِّن قَوْمِهِ. Those who believed in Musa were youth. Read Quran, read history, read commentaries. Nuh alayhi salam, majority of those who followed Nuh, they were youth. Even some looked at those youth and they were laughing at Nuh alayhi salam. But he became victorious and triumphant because of the effort of those youth. And no doubt, if you look at even our great scholars, look at Allama Hilli. Allama Hilli became marja when he was youth. And so therefore, my dear brothers and my dear sisters, youth amongst us, we have potentials. We should not allow it to waste. Let's take advantages of these blessings given to us by Allah as youth. Last stage of my examination. Challenges faced by our youth and some solutions. What's the first challenge? Some of our youth think that they are independent. They can do it without anyone. I want to humbly say this is wrong. You still need the blessings of the experiences of the old ones. You need mentors. You need role models. Yes, you are youth. You've got the potentials. But don't think you will be able to do it alone. And, excuse my word, don't also become big-headed. When everybody is praising you, Baba, Baba, mashallah, no, take it easy. Some of our youth think that, you know what, I can. Me. No. Be humbled. Like Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. They were humble. So this thinking that I believe in myself, I can do it alone, I'm not going to budge, it doesn't work sometimes. In fact, in most cases, you need to have a role model. You need to have a mentor. You need to have someone that you look up to. You need to have someone that you take advice from. Learn from the experiences of our elders. Learn from the experiences of our senior citizens. Our senior citizens are our think tanks. Let's take advantage of their presence before we lose them. Although Allah knows who will go first and who will depart first from this world. That's the first challenge. Second challenge is what? Peer group influence. A youth can easily get influenced and will want to fit in. My friend is doing this way, I want to do it the same way. It's not about competition. It's about doing it sincerely for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Don't seek to fit in. Don't do it to impress people. Instant gratification. You see our youth, they post something, they want instant gratification, which doesn't last. No, it's a challenge I see our youth faced with and going through. Take it easy. Be sincere. Be well informed of what you are doing. Don't just get easily influenced. Some get easily influenced and they start smoking. Some get easily influenced and they start drinking. Get influenced in doing good things, in reciting Quran, in serving in the mosques, in reciting Marsiya, in reciting Noha. But when doing so, you need to be humble. Follow the footsteps of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salatu wassalam. Look at Azad Ali al-Akbar, how he would address Abu Abdullah with humility and humbleness. Look at Hazrat Abbas alayhi salam, how he will address Abu Abdullah with humility and humbleness. That's second challenge. Peer group influence. Know your friends. Don't just hang around with anyone. Hang around with people who will always remind you of your duty as a Muslim and as a lover and follower of Ahlul Bayt. Hang around with those who will seek to make you creative and productive in a true sense of being creative and productive. The third challenge that I see our youth are faced with in this day and age is what? Time wastage. Find our youth waste their times on social media. They come out of uni, school is closed, spending time on their phones. Nobody says don't spend time on your phone. Nobody says don't spend time on PlayStations. But do it reasonably. Don't overdo it. Overdoing it is wasting your potentials and wasting the energies given to you by Allah. Plan and have a personal timetable. Amirul Mu'mineen alayhi salam said, Alaykum bi taqwallah wa nadhmi amrikum. Be conscious of the teachings of Allah and be organized. Have time for Allah, as Imam Ali said. And have time for your family. And have time for your studies or work. And have time to hang around with your good friends. But don't just waste time. Look at your screen time every weekend and see how many hours have been wasted. So the garage, the aim of this majlis is what? Is to first and foremost inspire myself and to inspire all of you, most especially our youth, that you know what? The sky is the limit. Seek knowledge. Be humble. Look up to guided role models. You'll get there. We will miss Abbas Ali, Shibji, Akila Azad, Mubashir, Inayat Ali Jibraj. But we look forward to having more of Abbas, Akil, and Mubashir within our communities. And I know our youth are on the task and they will not let us down. Your destiny is in your hand. Your love for Ahl al-Bayt to grow is in your hand. And you should be able to do it when you are determined. Time and tide wait for no man. And time moves very fast. Let us take our hearts to the holy land of Karbala and remember a few lines of the Masa'ib of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. كل عين باقية يوم القيامة إلا عينا بكت للحسين. Isn't it? The eyes that shed tears for Abu Abdullah sincerely on account of knowing the truth of what happened to Abu Abdullah. That eye will not cry on the day of Qiyamah. Hazrat Ali al-Akbar alayhi salam was the first of Banu Hashim to go to the father for permission. Abu Abdullah did not hesitate to grant permission. Granted Ali permission. Ali went to Khaymagar. When he entered Khaymagar, the ladies began to cry because he reminded them of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ali came out after bidding farewell. And he hugged his father, bidded farewell. He began to head towards the battlefield. But the father would not stop walking behind Ali. All of a sudden, Ali realized Abu Abdullah was walking behind him. He stopped. He looked at the father. Oh, my beloved father, haven't you granted permission? Abu Abdullah looked at Ali, said, may Allah never show you a moment where when your son goes, he will not come back. Allahu Akbar. Eventually granted him permission. Ali went to the battlefield. But you know what happened? The mother of Ali came out of Khaymagar. She could not look at the battlefield, but she would monitor the complexion of the face of Abu Abdullah. All of a sudden, she saw the complexion of the face of Abu Abdullah changing. She called out, Ya Abu Abdullah, is my Ali alive or dead? Abu Abdullah said, go sit and make dua. Allah promised to answer the dua of parents for their children. That was the moment Layla made the famous dua. Ya Allah, you were the one who returned Yusuf back to Yaqub. Returned my Ali back to me. She said, Ya Allah, you were the one who returned Ismail back to his mom. Returned my Ali back to me. Before she could finish the dua, Hazrat Ali al-Akbar came back and he was calling Al-Atsh, Al-Atsh, Al-Ash. First. He said, oh Father, the heat of Karbala is burning me and the armor is killing me. Allahu Akbar. And you know what Abu Abdullah did? Narration mentioned Abu Abdullah tried his level best to quench the thirst of Ali, but he had no water. What did he do? He placed his tongue into the mouth of Ali for Ali to have some wetness. But Ali looked at the face of Abu Abdullah. He said, "Oh, my beloved father, your mouth is drier than my mouth." Abu Abdullah then said, "Ya Ali, go back to the battlefield. You'll soon meet Rasulullah and he will quench your thirst." But we all know how the enemies killed Ali, isn't it? The enemy lifted his dagger and he struck on the chest of Ali. Allahu Akbar. We are told when he struck on the chest of Ali, the dagger appeared from behind. While he was falling down, he was calling, "Assalamu alayka ya abata, ya Aba Abdullah." We are told when Abu Abdullah heard the voice of Ali, he came out. For every companion, he rushed to the body. But for Ali, he walked slowly towards the body of Ali. But when he was walking towards the body of Ali, he took a wrong direction. Bibi Sakina called out, "Father, where are you going?" He said, "I'm heading towards the body of Ali." She said, "Father, you've taken wrong direction. Ali is here and you are heading there." He said, "Oh, Sakina, it kills me to know Ali is gone." Allahu Akbar. But you know, Abu Abdullah was used to Ali hugging him and greeting him with two hands, isn't it? But he realized that Ali was lifting one hand. When he got to the body of Ali, he saw Ali was covering the dagger with the left hand. Allahu Akbar. That was the moment Abu Abdullah removed the dagger from the chest of Ali. Assalamu alayka ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. As it is said, "O Amir al-Mu'mineen, you lifted the door of Khaybar with your hand. Come and see your son lifting dagger from the chest of his son in Karbala. Ala la'natullah ala al-qawm al-zalimin. إلهي رضا بقضائك وتسليما لأمرك وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون اللهم إنا نسألك وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم وبأسمائك الحسنى يا الله 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 يا الله. We pray to Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala to forgive Marhum Abbas Ali Shibji, Marhum Aqil Azad, Marhum Mubashir Inayat Ali Jibraj. May Allah grant them Jannat al-Firdaus. All our marhumin, may Allah forgive them and grant them Jannat al-Firdaus. We pray that Allah Tabarak wa Ta'ala bless the organizers of this majlis. Wa akhir da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Wa salli ya rabbi ala Muhammadin wa alihi at-tayyibin at-tahirin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ma'tam al-Husayn. Ya Husayn. Ya Husayn.
तेरा बाजार में जाना मरियम तेरा बाजार में जाना मरियम तेरा बाजार में जाना ना भूल सकेगा इस ताश ज़माना मरियम क्यों ज़ैनब कुलसूम की चिंती है तेरे गाज़ी को बुलाना ना भूल सकेगा इस ताश ज़माना मरियम तेरा बाजार मेरा जाना मरियम
جس در میں سلامی دیا کرتے تھے پیغمبر چہرہ مسلمان تو وہی کرنا چلانا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ تیرا بازار میں جانا دو دو کر جانا نوازے نبی کے بازار میں تیرا خط سنانا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ حضرت مریم تیرا بازار میں آنا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ حضرت مریم دیندار بلا کیسے سکینہ تو زمین پر تو نے سکھایا اس سینے پہ سنانا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ حضرت مریم تیرا بازار میں جانا حضرت مریم اے دوستر وہ قیامت کے گھڑی تیرے سر تیرا شام کے دربار میں جانا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ حضرت مریم تیرا بازار گانا نہ بول سکے گا اس کا زمانہ حضرت مریم تیرا بازار گانا حضرت مریم
بسم اللہ الرحمن الرحیم الحمد للہ رب العالمین الرحمن الرحیم مالک یوم الدین ایاک نعبد و ایاک نستعین اهدنا الصراط المستقیم محمد وآل محمد صلوات اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم سکائے حرم رکھ لے نہ بھرم ہم در پہ تمہارے آئے ہیں سکائے حرم رکھ لے نہ برم ہم در پہ تمہارے آئے ہیں تم بھی نہیں ہم کو ٹھکرانا تم بھی نہیں ہم کو ٹھکرانا ہم دنیا کے ٹھکرائے ہیں عباس عباس یا ابوالفضل العباس سکائے حرم رکھ لے نہ بھرم ہم در پہ تمہارے آئے ہیں اب سارے سہارے ٹوٹ چکے
ہمیں اپنے پرائے لوٹ چکے، اب سارے سہارے ٹوٹ چکے، ہمیں اپنے پرائے لوٹ چکے، تم اپنی پناہوں میں لے لو، تم اپنی پناہوں میں لے لو، ہم غم سے بہت گھبرائے ہیں، عباس عباس یا ابوالفضل العباس، اشکوں کی زباں پہچانتے ہو، جو دل میں ہے وہ جانتے ہو، اشکوں کی زباں پہچانتے ہو، جو دل میں ہے وہ جانتے ہو، ہم کہہ نہیں سکتے تم سن لو، ہم کہہ نہیں سکتے تم سن لو، بس ہاتھوں کو پھیلاتے ہیں، عباس عباس یا ابوالفضل العباس، مولا تم باب حوائج ہو، روزے پہ انہیں بھی بلوا لو، مولا تم باب حوائج ہو، روزے پہ انہیں بھی بلوا لو، غربت کے سبب جو آ نہ سکے، غربت کے سبب جو آ نہ سکے، ہم ان کے عریضے لائے ہیں، عباس عباس یا ابوالفضل العباس، اللهم صل على Muhammad وآل Muhammad وعجل فرجه. Inshallah, before we end today's program, I'd like to give a short tribute to our marhum brothers. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم، بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Firstly, before I start, I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of the organizers' hearts. Inshallah, we'd like to thank you all from the bottom of our hearts for attending today's program and gracing us with your special, special presence. In the past couple of weeks, we have not just lost brothers, but Mabasa Jamaat and the world at large has lost people who are like gemstones. The marhumin we dedicate today's majlis to are people who are very, very close to our hearts, and inshallah, they will never, ever, ever be forgotten by any of us. I'd like to give short tributes to each and every single one of them. Marhum Abbas Ali Shivji was a special person. He was the type of person who dropped everything that he had for his family and his friends. From personal experience, I've seen he was so wise for his age. From personal experience, I've seen that people his own age, people would come and ask him for advice, and he would give all of them advice. On the other hand, Marhum Akil Uncle was a lover of the Ahlul Bayt to his core. He would always sit with us. He would sit with us and tell us of the special feeling of being a Zawar of Imam al-Hussein. He would speak to us about the shrines of Imam al-Hussein, about the shrines of Hazrat Abbas. Little did he know that sitting with us and speaking to us, he would fill our hearts with the love of the Ahlul Bayt, and we would look up to him as like a role model. And before organizing any events, before holding anything, we would always make sure to call Akil Uncle for our programs. Lastly, Marhum Mubashir Uncle in Ayatollah Jivraj, he was a person who would spread happiness everywhere he would go. Since I was young, I remember him I remember him every program I would attend. He would be there serving Fatiha. He would be there serving. He would always be seen with a smile on his face. He would never have a misunderstanding with anyone, be it at mosque, be it at Kabristan, any program where there's Azadari, you would see Marhum Bashar Uncle being there serving all the lovers of Imam al-Hussein. The people that we dedicate today's programs to, they're people who live their lives as an example to every single one of us. And they're an example to people like myself, and they will be remembered for years and years and years to come, inshallah. Inshallah, finally, let's raise all our hands up, inshallah, and pray with the wasila of the holy Ma'sumin and the wasila of the holy Ahlul Bayt. Let this majlis be a sort of barakah and a sort of rahmah for them in Barzakh. May Allah grant them a space, a place with the holy Ma'sumin, inshallah. And with that, wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. We'd like to thank you all once again for attending, inshallah, and may this majlis be of barakah to them. Ahsan, jazakallah. We would now go on to ziyarat by Brother Ali Haydar Ali Bhai.
السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن. أجل الله فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك وظهورك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وأين حتى وتمتعه فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سورة المباركة الفاتحة.